MoShiach here, Rabbi Mendel Kessin, part edited written speech based on the MoShiach. The difference between now and the MoShiach era is unfathomable. If you think you have an inkling, you are incredibly mistaken. I will tell you one chazal in the Midrash Rabbah at the end of Kahels. It says, the Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu, which is everything we know, Bavli, Yerushalmi, Midrash, Mekilta, Teshuvas, everything, is Hevel, Luft, air, compared to the Torah of the MoShiach. Air. That's how insubstantial it is. Its surface. The Torah of the MoShiach is comparatively substantial. That's what the earth will be filled with the knowledge of God means. Participant, thank you. The second question is, you mentioned the possibility of the MoShiach coming in this year of Shemitah. Rabbi Mendel Kessin, yes, because the Gemara, in Sanhedrin, says that the MoShiach comes at the end of Shemitah, which is what, in 3 months, but then you mentioned 2030, that it's a possibility. Rabbi Mendel Kessin, the coming of MoShiach ben Yosef is a process. He's a real person, but he doesn't just, suddenly, appear. That's a long shire, but just to fill you in, who is the Messiah, not what his name is, I'm not going to tell you that. What kind of person is he? He is somebody that you would never recognize, and there's a midrash about his suffering for the sins of the Jews, suffering terribly. What happens to him? There's a pasuk, verse in Yeshayahu, Isaiah, Pasuk Bes, verse 52, towards the end, which says, Hein Yaskal Avdi, behold, my servant will grow wise. Who is God's servant? There are different opinions. Most people hold it's the Jewish people, but the Targum says it's the Messiah himself. It continues, and he will be exalted, will become exceedingly high, will grow exceedingly. These are 3 expressions of growth. The Midrash asks, why does it refer to Messiah this way? MoShiach starts off as Avdi, my servant in prison, not literally but figuratively. He endures terrible suffering. He's in Golis, exile, just like Moshe Rabbeinu was in Golis for 36 years. When he's released he becomes great. He will be greater than Avraham Avinu. Not bad. Becoming exalted means he will be greater than Moshe Rabbeinu, and he will be greater than the angels. This is a man who lives amongst us, who is going to walk around amongst us. Could you imagine seeing a man that is greater than the angels? It's inconceivable. We cannot imagine someone greater than Avraham Avinu and Moshe Rabbeinu. Forget it. And angels. It means that the MoShiach is the most dangerous man in the universe. Why? If you were to approach this guy, you would drop dead from his kedusha, holiness. It's like Moshe Rabbeinu who, if you recall, wore a mask. You couldn't look at his face. You could not look at the kedusha of Moshe Rabbeinu, same thing. Likewise, you cannot look at the kedusha of the MoShiach. So, when he comes, he's going to kill everybody. Think about that. Fortunately, he starts off at 0, because he's a prisoner, suffering for the sake of the Jewish people. Therefore, he's going to appear as a regular guy, but his potential is inapprehensible. Then he will be released, and he will grow, and, at the same time that he grows, the Jewish people grow with him. That's the incredible thing. And that's what God means by, and I will take you to me. Somehow, God is going to elevate every single Jew to be a formidable Talmid Chacham, scholar, the same as happened by Sinai. This is in order to survive the MoShiach, or else he kills you. Every Jew will grow to a tremendous extent. How that will happen is unknown, but the MoShiach will grow, and we will grow with him, so we can survive. God has to change the Jewish people. God is not going to bring the MoShiach to the Jewish people who are at the 49th level of Tumah, even though he did that by Moshe Rabbeinu. God had to, because their fall into the 50th was imminent. The MoShiach is greater than Avraham Avinu, than Moshe Rabbeinu, and greater than the angel, Gavriel. And MoShiach is a human being. This is what the redemption is. We are looking at a time when we cannot imagine the greatness of every Jew. You won't even be able to recognize yourself. You won't. You don't realize what you will become. That's the final redemption.
MoShiach knowing, A. Magnus, Opus by Carl Yehuda Ben-Yedda. Knowing the creator of the universe. This can only truly ever be done by personal contact from the creator, or by allegories and mental conceptions on the infinite reality of existence. It is well known by Jewish mystics that the creator is existence, but this is a simplified model. There is much more than meets the eye. If we were able to travel to the very edge of the known universe, we would be moving at the same speed it is expanding. Meaning in truth the creator would prevent us from ever reaching this reality, because all of creation exists within the consciousness of the creator. From the creator's viewpoint, there is just the creator and absolute nothingness, because the creator is one, and everything that exists inside this nothingness being the creator's consciousness, which just is beyond any kind of understanding. However, the creator has a very good reason for the creation, that everything exists within the physical and spiritual universe can from the creator viewpoint in human terms be seen as tools of a machine. The purpose of creation is to act as a kind of GUI, or graphical user interface for the creator's mind. I am using a kind of updated language for deeper spiritual conceptions. Our mission, if we choose to accept it, is to work with the creator of the universe, to drill down into physical and spiritual reality. The creator is able to experience our lives, dreams, achievement, failures, and even horrors in our lives, countries, and nations on the earth, and even in other parts of the universe through other forms of life. He is able to have free will in the universe, to be the only force behind both good and evil, because without good and evil in the world, mankind would have no free will at all. The creator was with the world through all the stages of evolution science has discovered, and is obviously with us, and in us all today. It is just he conceals himself, unless he wishes it otherwise. What about the Garden of Eden? It is all true, but with massive amounts of data edited out. The Holy Torah often only gives the highlights for a very good reason, to allow the will and guidance of the creator to be followed by our own free will. To my understanding, Adam and Eve, the parents of us all, when evolution reached higher consciousness levels, so that we then received an update from the creator and started to accumulate and build on our own knowledge of the world and reality in general. At this point we started recording time, the Holy Torah records the rest, until we reached modern history. The creator is behind every belief system in the world to mine deeper and deeper into different spiritual realities and experiences from mankind around the world. Very same process is also occurring elsewhere in the physical universe, with one overriding goal for the creator, to use the universe with his free will to experience a deeper an ever-expanding unfolding of his own kingdom. The absolute pinnacle of this process will be the next holy temple in Jerusalem. To truly understand the holiness of the final living temple, you have to know the conservation of energy physics, a fundamental law of physics and chemistry stating that the total energy of an isolated system is constant despite internal changes. It is most commonly expressed as energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Taking this understanding, we can view the Holy Temple as converting physical and spiritual energy to drill deeper into existence of both the physical and spiritual reality. With us working with our Creator within the universe, we will bring about all the prophecies given in the Holy Torah to all mankind. Hashem is not bound by time and space, and can always see the first and second temples still functioning right now, and in the future. The final temple also already exists in Hashem reality. So by studying the building of the Holy Temple, Hashem may manifest it to materialize right at this moment. Also, Hashem will be unconcealed in the world, and we will see that he has been with us all along.